Stewardship, the ethic of caring for and responsibly managing what one inherits, has long been central to the flourishing of civilizations. It underpins the thoughtful preservation of cultural heritage, natural resources, and communal goods, allowing societies to pass valuable assets from one generation to the next. However, the modern erosion of this ethic signals a profound cultural crisis. In societies experiencing generational discontinuity, weakened community ties, and diminished institutional trust, the commitment to stewardship has notably deteriorated, resulting in profound social and ecological consequences. At its core, stewardship involves a deeply rooted sense of continuity and collective identity. It relies on individuals perceiving themselves as part of an enduring chain of responsibility. Yet, in contemporary contexts characterized by fragmented family structures, high mobility, and transient social connections, individuals increasingly lack stable affiliations to communities and histories that cultivate a stewardship mentality. Sociological research underscores the role of cohesive communities and consistent social structures in fostering a robust stewardship ethic. Conversely, the fragmentation and individualization prominent in many modern societies diminish these critical communal bonds. The breakdown of generational continuity significantly undermines stewardship. Traditional societies often embody stewardship implicitly, as the well-being of future generations directly impacts present choices. In contrast, many contemporary cultures prioritize immediate gratification, often discounting future consequences. Psychologists identify this trend as a shift toward present bias, a cognitive pattern where immediate rewards are disproportionately valued over future benefits. This psychological shift is exacerbated by socioeconomic instability, which discourages long-term planning and heightens impulsivity. Empirical studies confirm these observations. Research published in journals like Social Psychology Quarterly demonstrates that communities with strong intergenerational bonds consistently show higher levels of collective care and maintenance of communal resources. Conversely, areas experiencing high levels of mobility, urban sprawl, and demographic flux typically exhibit reduced communal investment and increased neglect of public spaces and resources. Consider, for example, urban educational settings. Schools traditionally serve as vital cultural institutions, symbolizing communal investment in future generations. However, in many modern urban districts, students frequently perceive school materials, such as books, equipment, and facilities, as disposable or devoid of intrinsic value. The National Center for Education Statistics reports that public schools spend billions annually replacing vandalized equipment, defaced textbooks, and damaged property. This phenomenon starkly illustrates how diminished communal ties and generational continuity directly erode the stewardship ethic. Moreover, sociologists studying vandalism and destructive behaviors note these actions often symbolize deeper societal detachment. Vandals typically target culturally significant or valuable community resources, such as historical monuments, parks, and educational institutions. Studies in urban sociology, particularly those examining the broken windows theory, highlight how neglect of communal spaces and resources can rapidly escalate into widespread disregard and destruction. When public spaces show signs of neglect, community members quickly withdraw emotional and practical investment, accelerating deterioration. Institutional trust also critically influences stewardship behaviors. Public trust in institutions such as government, education systems, and civic organizations has declined sharply in recent decades. According to Pew Research Center data, institutional trust in American society dropped significantly, with fewer than 20% of Americans expressing consistent confidence in governmental and educational institutions. This loss of trust undermines stewardship by diminishing individuals' willingness to invest effort and care into communal goods that institutions oversee. If institutions are perceived as untrustworthy or inefficient, people withdraw their active participation and stewardship diminishes further. The ecological implications of declining stewardship are especially dire. Environmental stewardship, a critical component of sustainable living, depends heavily on a communal sense of responsibility and collective action. Yet environmental psychologists note a growing disconnect between individuals and nature, termed nature deficit disorder, by author Richard Louv. Increasing urbanization, digital immersion, and lifestyle shifts significantly reduce human interactions with natural environments, weakening the emotional bonds necessary for robust ecological stewardship. Empirical evidence supports these claims. Studies published in Environment and Behavior highlight how emotional and physical detachment from nature decreases sustainable behaviors like recycling, conserving energy, and protecting natural habitats. Conversely, regular, meaningful engagement with nature significantly boosts pro-environmental attitudes and actions. Communities maintaining strong traditions of outdoor activity, ecological education, and community-based conservation consistently exhibit higher stewardship levels and greater ecological resilience. Culturally, stewardship also extends to the appreciation and protection of beauty, whether natural or human-made. However, as stewardship ethics erode, perceptions of beauty shift. Objects and experiences once revered for their intrinsic or cultural value become commodified and disposable. Cultural critics argue that contemporary consumerism reinforces this trend, promoting a throwaway culture where products are deliberately designed for obsolescence. Sociologist Zygmunt Bauman describes this phenomenon as liquid modernity, emphasizing how transient relationships and experiences foster disposable mentalities across various aspects of life. The consequences of declining stewardship extend into personal relationships and community interactions. Without stewardship, interpersonal relationships become transactional rather than covenantal, defined by immediate gain rather than mutual long-term investment. Psychological research indicates that communities with strong stewardship ethics have lower crime rates, stronger social cohesion, and better collective mental health outcomes. The erosion of this ethic consequently contributes to social isolation, diminished trust, and heightened anxiety and depression rates across populations. Reversing the decline of stewardship necessitates deliberate efforts in education, community building, and institutional reform. Educational curricula that emphasize intergenerational responsibility, ecological literacy, and community involvement can foster stewardship from an early age. Communities that actively create opportunities for meaningful collective engagement, such as communal gardening projects, local historical preservation efforts, and civic participation programs, can significantly enhance stewardship behaviors. Ultimately, stewardship thrives in societies that value continuity, community, and institutional integrity. Reinvigorating these societal foundations is crucial to restoring stewardship as a vibrant and sustainable ethic. Without such efforts, the ongoing erosion of stewardship threatens not only ecological and cultural legacies, but also the social fabric essential to human flourishing.